There's a stillness in the air when you realize they don't truly see you. It's not their scorn that wounds, it's their indifference, a quiet tide that washes over you without a trace. You've stood among them, haven't you? Offering your words, your time, your presence. Yet their eyes drift, their voices carry on as if you were a breeze they barely felt. You've called this acceptance, this faint acknowledgement they grant you. But deep down you know it's not regard. It's the courtesy of habit, the echo of your own concession. If you faded from their world, would they notice the absence? The days would turn, the sun would rise, and your shadow would dissolve without a ripple. Why does that truth settle so heavily? Because you've let it take root. You've softened your grip on what's yours, traded your own ground for their fleeting glance. The soul that bends too far loses its shape. People don't honor what sways. They lean against it, testing how much it will give before it breaks. Respect isn't a flower that blooms from kindness alone. It's a fire, tended with resolve, fueled by the quiet strength to stand apart when the winds howl. You've let too much pass, haven't you? A slight unanswered, a boundary crossed. Each moment you spared them chipped away at your own frame. To overlook without reason is to invite more trespass. It whispers to them, "I am a gate left ajar, step through as you please." What if they felt the weight of your stillness instead? Not a storm of rage, but a calm so deep it forces them to pause, to reckon with what they've stirred. That pause is your power, not in words flung like arrows, but in the silence that follows a line held firm. Marcus Aurelius knew this. You command not by force, but by being unshaken amid the fray. You don't need to chase their reverence with pleas. You need only show them what it costs to drift beyond your orbit, once, with clarity, and let the lesson stand. Constancy is your shield. Wield it, and they'll feel its edge. Waver, and they'll pierce through, leaving you to mend the breach alone. You've faltered here, haven't you? One day a pillar, the next a reed, bending to their whims, hoping they'd see your yielding as grace. That's where it frays. Not in bold defiance, but in the quiet moments you let slip. Every unspoken truth is a thread pulled from your own cloak. Consider those who hold sway, not the warmest, not the loudest, but the ones who endure. They don't plead for place, they are the place, and others gather round. They don't hunger for approval's fleeting warmth. They stand in the cold of their own counsel, and the world bends to meet them there. It's not their fear you seek, it's their recognition. Let them sense that to lose you is to lose something rare, not through threats, but through your steady retreat. This is the Stoic art, not to punish for spite, but to preserve what's yours. Clarity is your blade, cut cleanly and they'll know where you stand. Offer them one chance to mend the rift, a single breath to turn back. Beyond that, the path is theirs to walk alone. More, and you dilute your own worth. Less, and you become a tyrant, blind to the frailty we all carry. Deeds outweigh declarations. Act, and let the act speak. Aurelius taught us this. What you do in silence echoes beyond what you shout. Rage consumes you. Leniency erodes you. Both are thieves. Guard against them with purpose, or watch your footing crumble. The world doesn't bow to the gentle or the grand. It turns toward the steadfast, those who meet chaos with a steady gaze. You've known them, haven't you? The ones who enter and anchor the storm, their presence a weight that needs no voice. They don't explain their choices, they live them, and that living is a mirror. Others see themselves reflected and adjust. That's the heart of influence, not in clamor, but in calm. It springs from a soul so centered it needs no justification. When you trade your peace for their ease, they feel it. Every step you take backward is a throne you leave empty. You've sensed the pull, haven't you? That restless longing to be held in their esteem, to matter in their fleeting light. It's a chain. Tug at it, and it binds tighter. The more you seek their nod, the less they offer. For need is a weight they won't carry. Release it. When you cease to crave their echo, they begin to hear yours, because want weakens, and resolve resounds. True strength lies not in their reliance on you. It lies in your freedom from them, whole in solitude, a flame they can't extinguish. Withdraw when they diminish you. Let the gap widen, Silence is a teacher, and its lessons linger. It exhausts you, doesn't it? Holding fast when all around you drifts, when the world praises the pliant and forgets the firm. Yet yielding exacts a steeper toll. You don't collapse in a blaze. You fade, one allowance at a time, until you're a whisper they ignore. Pity can unravel you if you let it run free. To see their struggle but not your own is to build their house while yours crumbles. They're weary, you tell yourself. They're lost, you excuse. When did you last shield your own spirit with that same care? You're not here to bear their load alone. Compassion without limit is a river that drowns its own banks. Your bearing tells your tale before you do. Walk with purpose, slow, rooted, unflinching, and they'll feel it before you speak. Hurry betrays unrest. Retreat signals doubt. Resolve is a rhythm. Set it and they'll fall in step. You've dimmed your flame for their shelter, haven't you? A word withheld, a stand softened, gifts they never asked for. What did it win you? A moment's truce, a shallow nod. Nothing that lasts, nothing that lifts. Respect isn't boldness, it's certainty. It's knowing your measure so well they sense it without a sermon. Stand firm and the tide turns. You become a rarity, a presence they can't assume, a depth they can't dismiss. Your time is a treasure. Scatter it, and you're barren. Hoard it, and they'll weigh their claim before reaching. You've lingered for their faint affection, haven't you? Taken echoes and called them music, hoping they'd hear your silence. It's not love, it's surrender. Affection without form is a burden you shoulder, not a bond they uphold. Admiration paves respect. Earn it by standing still. The one who could break but holds is the one they can't unsee. Your nature knows this. We follow the calm, not the frantic. Steadiness isn't cold, it's ancient, a call we feel in our bones. Struggle is your crucible. Rise through it unbroken and you'll stand not just seen but eternal. You don't grasp for respect, you grow it. Every choice, every pause, every parting is a root sinking deep. It's not a prize won, it's a vigil kept daily against the urge to sway. Your adversary isn't them, it's the part of you that kneels. Show them how to approach you. Offer frailty, and they'll wield it. Offer steel, and they'll temper to match. Lose what you must. Better solitary than lost in the tepid. Loneliness isn't hollow when it's chosen with eyes open. Here's the Stoic truth. Need no one's respect, and it flows to you. Live for your own North Star, unseen, and they'll chart it too. You're not here to blend into the clamor. You're here to be a quiet so vast it wakes them from their drift. So what will you carve? To keep fading for their comfort, or to stand until the cosmos feels your pulse? Answer that, and your path begins.